Hello everyone, small break from Laxius, from 3 Stars of Destiny. We're going into Laxius Force 1 Completionist run. Now Laxius Force 1 Completionist run, not actually that easy because there's so much stuff in this game. Such a ridiculously big amount of stuff in this game that it becomes really hard to actually have an idea of just how much there is. It even just starts with like this place where you can find items on the starting map that you literally did not know existed. Like, I'm not gonna say that like nobody knew, and I think it might be in the guide. I've actually never read the official guide, so it might be there. But how many of you really knew that there is this amount of secret items in this game at the first map, like the literal first pyramid map? How many people knew that? I doubt that the answer is everyone. Alright, anyways. Now there's many things in Laxius Force 1 that are completely optional and bear zero relevance to the game itself. And that does kind of like create this weird thing where you can play this game without exploring like 5% of the actual game, and it'll still feel like you played an entire game. Because, oh, so we're gonna come back here later because there's an annoying encounter here that I just kind of don't want to deal with. It's totally possible to do right now, but so you can get through here, so you have to go through here. If you're doing a speed run, technically speaking, if you're doing a speed run, you could do the speed run strategy where you walk up in an exact tile, which causes the pathfinding of the game to be the shortest possible. Also, this allows you to heal, to save, I mean, which is kind of weird because the game does not have any form of save block. So it's really weird why they would have decided to go ahead and like make you unable to save. Like, I wonder, was that planned originally? Was it planned to be originally like Laxius Power 1 or the Laxius Power games, where saving wasn't like completely open? Who knows? Anyways, we're gonna find a life potion here alongside some Lamias. The Lamias, obviously not the worst enemy to encounter in the game. In fact, I'd argue they're one of the easiest. These fairies, on the other hand, really big annoyance when you face them. Just because they have this tendency to poison, slow, tire you. It gets messy fast. Anyways, meanwhile, Kraken is already level 8. Now, like I said, this pyramid does not really matter at all, in any way whatsoever. There is nothing particularly relevant about the pyramid, if you think about it. So, it is, you know, if you want to speedrun the pyramid, I honestly respect that. Because there is, I mean, at the end of the game, I suppose, like in Laxius Force 3, technically speaking, you will arrive at a situation where you can hypothetically get through it and get the bonus rewards, like actually benefit from the fact that you got bonus rewards. But anyways, so in your bag you're gonna find Timbany. I guess I could have let Timbany join earlier on. It doesn't really matter, does it? We also have an XP egg here, so yay, we're at a higher level now. Not really, but anyways, we're gonna fight this guy. This guy, really, realistically speaking, fighting him is kind of a nuisance because, yeah, because of that. And I actually don't know how much damage you need to properly finish him. However, that does offer us a quick teleport back to the start of the dungeon if you ever have need of that. And while this isn't really a spoiler, but there is like one moment in the game where that might prove beneficial. Anyways, we're gonna continue for now, since, as I pointed out, it's pretty hard to beat him at this point, but, you know, at least we've seen the encounter now. Also, there is, in fact, a healing potion right there. So the hidden items in this game are pretty widespread throughout the game. Now, what you want to do is you want to head up, and once you're up here, you'll find this thing actually gives you lightning speed. There's also one fairy here, which I assume you're sort of always meant to beat. I think it's sort of meant to be impossible to not kill a fairy in the game. Which actually matters, because there is a hidden room that calls you a fairy killer, and believe it or not, well, I mean, it's not that hard to believe. Even if you've never killed a single fairy in the entire game, the game will insist on calling you a fairy killer, which, you know, is disappointing to say the least. Anyways, we find some gold here. Oh, yeah, this is the room, by the way. So she will call you a fairy killer, even if you've never killed a single fairy. Also, if you inspect this chest a couple times, you'll find the Dashmel Saber too. So you'll actually find a second Dashmel Saber, which, you know, is cool. It's a nice reward. Kind of wish that sort of thing was more present in Laxius Force 1. Because at some point, I do feel like Laxius Force 1 just does not have as many secrets. I've got to be careful with what I say, because that's a pretty stupid statement. I feel like Laxius Force 1 doesn't have as many secrets in the sense of like, oh, check a chest twice. Oh, inspect stuff twice. Where you actually benefit from it. You do have stuff like the encounter up here that you cannot win. And the question is like, if you do win, what happens? Oh, well, the answer is nothing. Nothing happens whatsoever. I feel like that sort of stuff is like a missed opportunity that the game does have. But, you know, we're talking about a pretty old game at this point. That kind of still squares up pretty nicely, if you ask me. Now, this is a forbidden dragon, a mythic dragon, lethal dragon. I don't know which ones of it is. I think it's a lethal. It's a forbidden dragon, yeah. Can you beat it? Yes, it is actually possible to beat it. If you level up all the characters in here to the highest possible level, I have once in my life decided to go through that absolute horror and kill it. If you're in the Discord, you might have actually been there because it was streamed live. Now, the big joke in doing that is that there is absolutely no reward. There is no benefit whatsoever to doing it. If there is nothing. You don't even get the acknowledgement that you killed it. There is nothing. So that's sort of disappointing. Anyways, once you venture down here, we actually are now doing the main part that you have to do in order to finish this place. Talk to him, he's going to unlock a route. And then we can steal from this chest here to get some bonus items, but I don't think that's the most relevant. It's bonus XP for Timony, technically speaking. I don't know if it's... Yeah, it has... We found 1 XP egg earlier, so there's that. And I believe that either the Timeless Guardians spawning or beating the Timeless Guardians actually opens up a little extra additional secret back at the start of the dungeon. So, if you were to die at this point, you could actually go ahead and get that. Now we're going to do that in a little bit more fashionable way. We're just going to walk back. Although, technically speaking, I suppose I could just go die to the Xeon. That would work, too, as I explained earlier. There we go. I was actually worried that we would win that fight. Also, notably, it's still not here, which means something else actually triggers this. So I'm sort of interested in knowing what triggers this thing to spawn. Now, it definitely has to do with where in the pyramid you are with the main part. So the next step is, I've actually always wondered about that specifically, like what triggers this to happen. So currently I'm thinking like maybe if you finish the pyramid itself but haven't entered the final room, it's possible that that's actually the trigger instead of what I thought it was. So I guess that's the next thing that we're going to inspect. Also, this thing can inflict madness, which, you know, is annoying. Okay, we did get the Steel Breaker, so that's good. I mean, the Steel Breaker isn't particularly relevant or anything, but it is a weapon that we get. That's usable. Also, we find yet another XP egg here. Technically speaking, we also, like, we could use the XP egg, but we just cleared the last big fight in the pyramid, so I don't really see the purpose of that. Anyways, you can head down here, you can head up here, and then you're in the room with all the fairies. If you are, like, full HP, you can just let Gutter up to them, and that becomes a lot easier. If you have Timony, you can get the Hydra tier that's up here. I don't think you can get any of this. And then once you act down here, you're going to be fighting the Order guys that are sitting here. Kraten's going to realize that none of this is real, in the sense of, like, it's all hogwash. We're gonna talk to the pyramid dude, and I'm wondering, like, is this what does it? So we get the counter scimitar here. If we head down here and we do this, we enter this place. Also, interestingly, Jarma actually takes over. Was Jarma? No, Kraten was at the start of the party for sure at the start. So it's interesting that Jarma just takes over at the start, as the lead of the party is what I'm trying to say. Anyways, we're gonna find a mountain balm, and then Jarma does not want to continue down up there because it's too dangerous or whatever. We're gonna find some hero cream here as well. Power up pepper. Yeah, that's a lantern, and then there's a bunch of random notes, or so he says right there. So I'm wondering, did that trigger it? Can we now go back down? And will that have triggered the thing? Now, keep in mind, we also have that area at the start that we have not explored yet. Well, explored. It's not really exploration as much as it is just walking through it, but... Alright, so we have two Lamias here. These are not what you're here for, obviously. These Lamias, they're just Lamias. I believe... yeah, no, okay. There's a King Tigo in here, which will instantly die to the special sabers that we've got. And then if you head down here, you'll run into these Lamentons, which, you know, at the start would have probably been a difficult fight, but once you get Sundazzler, they all auto-die to that, so it's fine. We're gonna inspect these holes. There's gonna be another King Tigo, which we instantly kill. And then this hole's also empty. And then this does not contain anything. It's a troll. Well, no, he just mentions that there's nothing in there. So that is literally everything you can do in the pyramid. There is nothing else to this pyramid. Every single area has been explored. And now we run into the Pig of Fortune. Yay! So we get 5 HP for all party members. Is that worth it? No. Not in any capacity. Not in any capacity whatsoever. But, yeah. I mean, I guess we found the... Like, it's a completionist run, and it's not a completionist run if you haven't done everything. So that's the last thing that there is to this place. Also, you can choose to fight this guy, but then, boom, nothing happens. And then we can save here, because this is the last part of the pyramid. And we're done with the pyramid. Yay! Now, technically speaking, the pyramid can be completed in exactly 6 minutes and 48 seconds. Or 4 minutes and 18 seconds if you truly rush through it, don't do anything at all. And by can be, I mean that's the fastest I've done it. So, if you can do faster, you're more than welcome to just go ahead and do it. Everyone, all the more fun. Alright, as for this place, we start out in this little, in Random's hut. There's a lot of dialogues here that you can do with the various items. There's also another save crystal here, which kind of like, it really seems to hammer home this idea that it was supposed to work like the other, like Laxius power at first, where you could only save at the save points that the game gave you. But clearly, at some point in development, we stepped away from that. Because, well, I mean, we have the game that we have now. Now, I'm wondering, like, I don't think it's feasible to play the game with only saving at these crystals. But we can try for as long as possible to make it, like, a little bit more difficult. I don't know. That was mostly a joke. Anyways, in here we can just kill a lot of these Lizardmen, and it does actually help to kill, like, a decent amount of them. For some quick XP, it makes the next fight a little bit less annoying to deal with. Funnily enough, there's actually nothing specifically tied to these Lizardmen. So, like, the guy says he's his best friend, but realistically speaking, there is nothing that ties him to that event. Anyways, get the bird nest. That's probably the most important thing that you can get. Random will comment that he cannot get these apples. He will also comment that he does not want to go alone over there. So there's really not much you can do, except just beat up more Lizardmen. Now you can back out and you can come back and you can fight more Lizardmen if that's what you want to be doing. There is actually a way to trigger this fight. I don't know exactly what triggers it, but if you defend with random, there is a pretty good chance that he will lose the rat status somehow. Like if you choose, I don't know. I don't know how it happens. I think it's because you get the rat status from the dialogue, and the dialogue triggers after the first command, blah, 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 blah. There's probably, like, a very good reason for it, but... The point is, if you ever have trouble with that fight, somehow, there is a way to get through that. Alright, so we found Sarah, blah, 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 blah. All very good. Sarah joins us. Yay! The story of two lovers. Woo! The very, very long story of two lovers. So the next thing that you actually could do, well, on a speedrun, you would probably just head into the Lizardman territory next. Try to do stuff as quickly as possible. Also, that guy is very angry that we took his sick leave. He's very not happy with that. That is fine, though. As you can see, Sarah can equip her bow and then the mist pendant. We can sleep here for some extra HP. All very, 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 very nice. We can now head. I mean, I guess we can take this food ration here. There really is no reason not to. So we can get that one as well, and we can head down here, which I believe has one more food ration. Alright. And now we're entering the territory of, well, I don't want to call it perfectionism. I want to call it, efficiency. So the first thing you want to do is you want to head in here, kill the lizardmen that live here. I don't believe that that has anything at any point. We get the lizard village map here. We kill that guy. We grab the food rations that are in here. These barrels are empty. This guy is not mean to us, but we're going to kill him anyways, because why not? And then we're going to head straight into the lizardman village. We're going to be nice. We're going to pay him 10 gold, because we are nice people. We're going to quickly grab the Wonder Marsh map from there. And then we're going to talk to the village chief. We're going to ask about the latest news. Sarah is weak. And then we're going to be able to pick the feather mattress as our reward, which means that we can quickly type birds. Bird nest. And then, ba-boom, ba-boom, ba-boom. Cocka-Cocka is born. Woo. So our little chicken is born. Now, what I mentioned about efficiency is that there's two methods you can use to be in this place. You can either be nice to them and don't risk Cocka-Cocka dying, or you can go wild, try to kill all of them, and risk the fact that he will probably die a couple times at least. But you can also get lucky, and he might not die at all throughout the fight. There we go. Not lucky, apparently. So Cocka-Cocka is dead at this point, which means we're probably best off backing out for now. We're just gonna sleep at our house. We're just gonna get him back alive. Because, well, for no real reason other than the fact that I would like him to not be dead. Since he won't gain XP that way. Cocka-Cocka is easily like the best party member you can have at this point, by the way. Like, he's insanely useful as a party member. And there's a couple things you can do to actually ensure that he gets some quick levels, which is what you want to do in a speed run. You want to leave the village right away. You want to attack the west, kill him with the gun, which is going to give Cocka 3 levels, which is going to make him able to actually attack a little bit consistently, deal some more damage, and then he'll be able to probably survive. So we have enough rations to go back into the village. And now that we're back in the village, we're just going to kill everyone. We're going to kill all these stupid lizardmen. None of them stay alive. I suppose Sarah could heal Cocka-Cocka. I don't think that really matters too much, because I don't think you gain much from doing that. What you can do is you can totally interact with this guy. You can kill him. Silly Sylvan hiding in the corner. That's not gonna happen. Alright, so that's some quick XP that you can get from here. Now, there is one thing, and we're not going to finish the Lizardman yet. So we're gonna go back to the Rogue camp. We're not gonna go to the Wonder Marsh yet. I honestly have no clue who Chocolate is. Also, this is actually the best grinding place in the game, because if you come here, you can fight all these fat lizards. And if you know which encounter to trigger, you can actually trigger the fat fight the easiest. Which does mean that, like, if you enter here, and I believe I had a trick for it, but I don't really remember now. I think if you just do it like that, this encounter actually has a pretty decent chance to spawn another fat lizardman. Which meant that if you just go straight, you actually have a pretty good chance of just fighting these three, go back down, and you can do that every time. And then you go back through the bottom, and then you leave, and then you come back down here, And you just run straight into the trio, and then you'll fight the trio, and now Cocka-Cocka is dead. But that was expected, like, that was gonna happen at some point. But that's a pretty good way to, you know, cut your time expenditure here and the grinding to a minimum, because you can quickly farm those if, you know, if for whatever reason you actually need to grind in that section. Because realistically speaking, I don't see why you would have to grind there. But, you know. Alright, over here we're gonna find Bogdan. Bogdan's going to complain that he's lost again. This is Karks, this is Marion. I don't actually know what that's about. I'm assuming it's a reference to another game, but as much as I know most of these references, I actually have no clue what this one refers to. Obviously, Bogdan is Bogdan, though. That one does not need any explanation whatsoever. Bogdan is Bogdan. I'm trying to see whether any of this has any kind of secrets, but aside from secrets that I might have potentially not found in any of my playthroughs at any point in time, I don't see one. Also, there's Ren. I don't plan to go talk to her, do I? I might as well, I guess. You collect a chest here for 23 gold. These chests are so worth it. Woo. There's a sickle leaf over here. And then we continue here, here, here. Open the chest for a food ration. And then that chest down at the bottom is actually not gettable. So, there's that. Also, the hole over here is a pretty interesting hole. I'm not sure if you get revived if you die here. And whether the hole becomes inaccessible now. But, you know, the hole's right there. It has that gigantic Hydra. Now, it is possible to kill it. Don't get me wrong. It is possible. And we might attempt it. I don't know. It depends. If we feel like it, we might attempt to kill it later on. It's definitely possible. It's not like some of these fights where you need to RNG your way through. It's definitely possible to do. So we'll find 25 gold here, and then if we head to the right, we'll find this skeleton dude here. Most importantly, we're going to open this chest, get the Indenera mail. We're going to go ahead and do that. We're going to down here, kill this one. So if you're interested in speedrunning in any way, it is a nice little strategy that you can quickly kill exactly 4 of these so that Sarah learns her next skill, which is at that point Brigand's Calling and Emerald Laser. And then because she'll have learned those 2 skills, you can get through the next sections relatively easily. Okay, anyways, we are going to enter here, and the first thing we're going to do is we're going to attempt to kill this guy. Now, we are pretty low level to even try this, even for this one guy, so I kind of figured that wouldn't work out too well, especially with the equipment we have right now. Now, it's not like it's necessary to kill this guy, because you really only need one thing from here. Realistically, the only thing you need is if you... Yeah, running into the Cataclysm guy is also a nice way to instantly die. I'm gonna try one more time, and otherwise I'm just gonna leave it for a little bit later, because it really does not matter too much. What? Oh, did I interact with the plant? Okay, so that doesn't count as the one attempt. I just want that one chest right there. But like, if the Cataclysm does not have a good route, he will run into you. If he does have a good route, you can get that one chest, and that's kind of the only thing that we're after at this point. Is the one chest. So we're just going to try. I think you have to bait him actively by going down 1 step first. That might actually work, because he'll come to the corner. I think if you do it too fast... Okay, that's really annoying, actually. Okay, well, anyways. So, for this... There is, of course, the one thing that you can do to make this a bit easier, which is called turn off any speed hacks you're using, so that the walking is actually done in real time. Because since enemies, I don't know, there's something about the speed that enemies move at that kind of screws over what you're trying to do. Now, there we go. We got the luck ring, which is kind of the only thing I was after to begin with. And then at that point, once you have the luck ring, you can die to these guys. It's fine. You'll respawn, and we will have the luck ring equipped. And we're basically just not going to take the luck ring off for a very, 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 very long time. The luck ring is going to become part of our identity. Because there's so many quick checks in this game where you need the luck ring. Because what the luck ring really does in Laxius Force 1 and in most of 2, I believe, what the luck ring actually does is on any RNG check, it either improves your odds or it just maximizes the RNG roll that you got. Or it increases the roll depth. You know, there's a variety of things that it does at various points in the game. But the point is that it literally increases the odds of what's going on. So, for example, there are some points in the game where you'll get 7 to 10 gold, just to say, right? 7 to 10 gold. What the luck ring does is you either have a chance for that roll to become a 10, always. And then some events do it differently. Some events just assign you a higher pool of RNG to pull from. So it'll be like you have a 50% chance to get 8 to 11 if you have the luck ring equipped. So it's not set per definition what the luck ring does, but that is what the luck ring will always generally do. It'll always give you better RNG in any case. So we get Cocka heal here, which is not exactly the most useful skill. Whatever. We're gonna do that. We're just gonna walk down here. We can kill this one with the blade. Now, the blast sword is kind of cool because it allows you to kill these things pretty easily. Although, since we did attack the fat Lizardman, we are pretty high. Odd. I don't remember there being this many unforgiving bones here, but sure. Now, if they attack Cocka-Cocka, it's kind of annoying. I think they only spawn the first time. I think that's it. If they attack Cocka-Cocka, that's kind of annoying. He does have a good chance to avoid the attack, but if he doesn't avoid the attack, you just kind of have to go back and then revive him. Is that the biggest deal in the world? No, it's just a little bit annoying to do. Or have to do. I'll say it that way. Anyways, so we're going to kill the last unforgiving bones here. We're going to continue down. These things are instantly going to attack you as soon as you enter. Ideally, in a speedrun, you would try to avoid these guys to the best of your ability. But I have admittedly so far not found a way to not run into them. Alright, get the Magicka potion right there. Attack this one. And then we're going to enter Valaus, which is the nomad village. So, and here's the next save crystal. So, we have found one at Random and Sarah's place, and then one here. So far, I am not convinced that you can play the game without ever saving at any other point. And there's a couple of reasons for that. And some of them are definitely more convincing than others. Now, Random can definitely buy the Paladin sword, the Paladin blade here. And I will do that just for now. Is it entirely necessary? No, there's 5 gold in there. But it is nice to have. Anyways, we'll find 29 gold. Ooh, wow. We're making the big bucks now. And then this guy will sell you some defensive stuff, including the love ring, including the silver ring, and the power diadema. Now, the power diadema is something that you can definitely buy. It's a pretty cool item to have, because it increases, you know, some basic stats. The first thing we're actually going to do is we're going to shop here. We're going to just buy 55 of these, and then we're going to go to the inn, and we're going to rest. Now, there's a good reason that we're doing this, and the next thing that we're going to do is we're actually just going to go ahead and do the main quest, yep. Not really, obviously, but we're just going to trigger this dialogue here. Random is going to get some bonus XP, and we're going to get this cutscene with the Grand Commandanter, which is an incredibly long cutscene that I hate every single time I see it. But it is incredibly long. There we go. Alright, so Random is now in his Tyrene Crusader mode, meaning you can equip his armor. Also, I don't equip him with his sword because I want to be using the, I want to use the luck ring. That's what I want to have equipped on him. Alright, we are going to talk to that kid. That kid's going to be happy to see us, but he is going to question why we came to see him. And now I'm going to torture myself by doing one of the most annoying quests in the game, namely find a golden butterfly. Now the golden butterfly spawns down here, but it can literally fly anywhere it likes. So what I have found is the best strategy is to just stand here, and then if it really flies away incredibly far, you can just reload your file, come back down here, and then just try and pick a spot to stand in and just try to collect it. And then sometimes it'll just fly into you and you'll get it. And that's going to give you a quest. So yay, we actually completed a quest. And then this guy is going to sell us the map to Khomre. Now you might wonder, what the hell is the map to Khomre? And I respond to you, the map to Khomre is the best item in this game that you can, oh yeah, you can make this guy kill himself. It's kind of mean, but, you know. Right, now you can talk to every single person here. It's not really going to matter because none of them have any dialogue except for the one that we spoke to. Random can also be incredibly mean to the waitress here, but, you know, that's all par for course for Random. Also, as soon as you got the X-ring, this girl's going to move and you can find the golden ring here. Now, since we are a good person, we are going to put that ring back because I'm not a terrible person. But technically speaking, nothing forces you to do that. You can totally just take the ring and leave. Alright, so at this point, there's a lot of things that we've done. There's a lot of things we haven't done. You can do these things in like a variety of ways. But one of the things you can definitely do is just head into Mount Pazaara. First things first, right? We're gonna get some encounters and we're just going to fight our way through Mount Pazaara first. Sarah is going to learn Nymphea Party, which is a pretty good skill for her. And we're just going to continue the way we're going. Open this, we're going to get a Magic Potion. The Magic Potion really doesn't matter too much. Anyways, once we enter here, they're going to attack us because they assume we're weak because we come from Aldorlea, which is a very weird assumption to make. Cocka-Cocka also has already died, so perhaps we should just go back for now. It's not that I want to go back, it's just the point of this is that Cocka-Cocka does gain some levels. So it would be pretty dumb to stay when he's died. Now the orcs are definitely the most annoying. It's probably a good idea to try and Nymphea party them and try to get through them that way. But this is why we bought so many rations, just so that we can get through here in multiple attempts if necessary. Because I believe, yeah, that auto kills them. So that's something at least. I've actually never tried to give Random the rusty gun and see if that works on these guys. I don't think it would. It does give him initiative. Well, I mean, that's as clear an answer as anything, isn't it? So the answer is no. It does give him initiative, though. So there might be something that you could at some point use that for. I'm not excluding it per definition that it might have some purpose that I just have not thought of yet. Also, they killed Cocka-Cocka again. That is really annoying. And that does not revive him, and I don't have any item to revive him. Whatever. Now, as you can see, Random and Sarah are kind of already pretty strong and pretty difficult to beat by the enemies that you'll encounter here, so in pure theory, it doesn't really matter what you do anymore. By which I mean, we can totally go through this and just kind of continue. This place is only slightly difficult if you are playing a specific challenge, such as, for example, a speedrun, where you're trying to get through this place in as little time as possible, because then you need to go here as fast as possible. And that might actually increase the difficulty of these fights a tiny little bit, because these fights are definitely not meant for under-leveled players. Anyways, we're gonna find these food rations. They're not really gonna do much. I also don't know what that item was. I kind of forget right now. I didn't bother checking because I usually know this stuff by heart, but I forgot. Alright, we're gonna give random the magical potion just so that we can continue for now. We're gonna do this, we're gonna do this. That kills them. We're gonna just defend with random and use Nymphea party here. And then we're gonna go back. Well, after killing this thing, we're gonna go back up because this barrel should have at least one more heal for us. Right, so that's a very nice heal still. So we can go back down. We can use Gates of Thunder once here. And then we can head down. We can use Gates of Thunder once more. And then to wrap things up, we can use Gates of Thunder one more time here. And now it's very important that you actually continue to go all the way down here. That's going to give you a quest complete, and now we're going to backtrack. So it's very important that you do make it all the way there, because if you don't get the special thing. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to head down here into this little cave. That's going to be supposedly a trap, but it's not really a trap. There's going to be a ghost here that's going to claim to us that there is a long lost treasure, and if we can find it, there will be a major, great, grand reward. Now there's nothing there, You're gonna find a small key there. You can light this up. The chest that is over there on the right side has nothing in it. It is purely a visual event. So there's that. We can unlock the gate here. We can open this for 116 gold, which obviously is not the infinite power we were promised. But never fear, there is one more thing that we can try. We also have the other chest, and we'll find 2 demon blasters in this one. Is that infinite power and infinite reward? No. So it's not exactly what we were promised. Also, I just realized you can equip Sarah with the Seer Rapier if you want to. Is that going to improve your gameplay a lot? No. But, you know, you can. Alright, so once we've done that, we can head over here and we can go ahead and rest at the inn. That is going to fully heal us, and she's actually going to tell us that she also has a cockatrix now. Yay! Also, Rebecca is still here. Anyways, so the next thing we can do is either we can talk to Vanina here, or we can head straight to Khomre, and that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to head straight to Khomre. Now, in Khomre, there's actually a couple things that you can do here. Well, to be clear, there is like a massive amount of things that you can do here. But the very first thing you can do is you can just come here and then return. Now, the reason I say that that is the first thing that you should do is because it just saves you the thing of having to remember to do that later. And then we're going to go ahead up here. We're going to talk to this guy. He's going to let us in. We're going to go up to the left. And the first thing we're going to do is, actually, we're going to, first of all, check this. Okay, that verifies that we're not on bikini mode. That's just good to know. Anyways, this guy is going to tell us to clean up this room. Now, you can, technically speaking, make Sarah do this on her own. You can make Sarah do this on her own, but then not everyone is going to get the quest reward, and we do want the quest reward for everyone, so, you know, there's that. Also, the second quest is going to be to do this little fill-in-the-hole puzzle, which is honestly so oddly out of place, because literally nothing else in the game is even remotely similar to this, but, you know. Alright, so we're going to fill in the second gap, and then we're going to quickly fill in. It's really hard to fail this, but it is actually possible to fail this. Because you can get the rock stuck in a place where you cannot move it anymore. Alright, there we go. So we've completed yet another quest. Now, obviously, the point here is that we're getting XP from completing these quests. That is the only thing that matters here. I believe... Try to interest him. I'm a witty elf. That's going to make him ask if we can take him to Indenera. We're obviously going to say no. We're just going to take the quest complete. There we go. And then this guy is going to give us a quest as well to rid the cave of all Tigos. Ridding the cave of all Tigos sounds easy enough, but it really isn't. Tigos are, first of all, incredibly annoying creatures. And second of all, there is a lot of them. So, now that you've seen, like, these are the same enemies, by the way, that you encountered in the pyramid. So this is the next quest, and, you know, you could clear it now. It's definitely possible. Also, another thing is, if you talk to her, she's going to mention that she can no longer find her coon. And these guys are going to make fun of her. Now, you can give her coon back. That's going to be another quest complete. And this guy's going to mention that it's pity because it was actually kind of funny to watch her, like, rummage about. We're also going to find 2 gold in there, which, sure. And then we can leave. Alright, so, after all of this, I realized you might be wondering, okay, so what's the next thing we're going to do in Khomre? And the answer is absolutely nothing. We're going to leave Khomre now. And I realized that this is all like a gigantic loop-de-loop where, there we go. Once we've been to Khomre, he's going to ask us to get Rebecca back. And this is where we actually have to make a choice, because if we get Rebecca back, we don't get a specific reward. But if we don't get Rebecca back, we don't get a quest complete. So this is the first time that we are going to have to ask ourselves the question, what does it mean to do a completionist run? Is a completionist run that you complete as many quests as possible, or is a completionist run that you get as many rewards as possible? Because they don't mean the same thing, and obviously that greatly influences what we're doing here. Now, in my opinion, the quest book decides whether or not we've done a complete run. That is my opinion on it. The quest book decides whether or not we have done a completionist run. Now, I'm actually not sure anymore. I think it has to do with Sarah's speed. I think if she's faster than 400 speed or something like that, she actually manages to steal whatever is in there. But it's literally just a power pepper. So, you know. We're going to find a mithril drop there. We're going to talk to this guy. He's going to be very confused why we're here. Same thing with these guys. Also, I like how the atmosphere is, like, terrible here, but then when you go in here, it turns out you're just interrupting a marriage. Anyways, so, quest completes are more important because that gives us XP. So, we are going to capture this lady. She is going to absolutely hate us. And as you can see, we're not really going to succeed in distracting her, and we don't have an item that can give us lightning speed. So, for now, we're going to have to give up on trying to complete this quest, this little mini quest that I have now given myself, but it is possible later on to maybe complete that. I'm actually not entirely sure about that right now, but we'll see. Also, chapter 1 actually contains an insane amount of backtracking, but only if you're actually looking to get the absolute maximum amount of stuff in the absolute best way possible. So we're gonna save here. You'll see Cocka-Cocka now gains 33 XP from eating these flowers, which is more than he was getting earlier. Earlier he would have gotten exactly 1. So that's kind of why. Anyways. This dragon is going to mention that he's old and he just wants to stay here. We can get all the items that he's giving us, including the blast sword over here and the dragon ring, which is obviously a great ring. Meanwhile, she gets the harpy bow and I believe Charlotte's earrings, which is actually something that you can keep with you till the end of the game. So I consider that pretty cool. We can rest in our bed, obviously, and then we can leave. Now, another thing you can do is you can head here to the Path of the Dreaded. Alright, and the Path of the Dreaded is pretty easy. There's two parts to it. Part 1 is we're gonna save here because I'm not 1000% sure. This guy's gonna give us 6,666 gold and 6 Omega Budons. 9 Omega Budons because we have the luck ring equipped. It's 6 when you don't have it equipped, 9 when you do have it equipped. So we get 9, well, we have 9 Omega Budons in general now. Now we're gonna save here because this is just incredibly tedious. Right, so the thing is, you need to do it at the exact second that the lightning strikes. Which means you kind of have to predict when it's going to happen. And then if you do it at the right moment, the frog will actually light up and they'll figure out that it's a frog doing it. I'm not saying it's easy. It's actually pretty tediously hard. Please. Nope. Was that fast enough? Nope. Obviously this is one of those things that also gets nefariously easier if you just turn off the speed hack. Because then I believe... Yeah. Like I said, definitely a lot easier if you just turn off the speed hack and do it normally. Anyways, we're gonna get the quest and we're gonna talk to this frog, and I believe just catching the frog is the best thing to do. Now, very importantly, you have to leave now. We don't want to do anything else here. Because if we do something else here now, we are going to be stuck. Well, not stuck in the sense of like we can't move anymore, but just stuck in the sense of like we don't want to continue what we're doing here right now. What we can do now, and I did mention like we're going for the ideal stuff, right? Now, here's the thing. You can go to the Wonder Marsh from the Lizardman village. You have to do that by going to the Wonder Marsh from the Lizard village. That costs 9 food rations, by the way. And once you do that, you're going to be able to eat these various flowers, that Cocka-Cocka is able to consume. Now, one flower is going to give you 920 XP, because Cocka-Cocka is level 11. Yeah. And then the next one is going to give us 1,000. And then the next one is going to give us 1,070, because he's level 14 by now. And then the next one is going to give us 1,150. So you might be understanding the vibe here. If you've leveled Cocka-Cocka up sufficiently, he's going to gain a bonus level for every single one of these flowers that he consumes. Which is why you want to wait with the Wonder Marsh, because if you don't wait for the Wonder Marsh, Cocka-Cocka is only going to gain like maybe 1 level. And I've found out that like level 18 is the ideal level to do this at. In the sense of like, once he hits level 18, the next flower will no longer level him up. As you can see, he's not leveled up fully. Which basically marks for me the point where I'm like, okay, well, it's no longer worth it to wait longer, level him up more. But Cocka-Cocka will now just basically one-shot any enemy that we face relatively easily. And that means, sorry, it is actually time to go back. all the way back to Valaus. I don't actually know how Indanera wants you to pronounce that, but yes, we're gonna go all the way back to Valaus for a very good reason this time, though. With Cocka-Cocka being this level, we kind of just accomplished, that. So we don't have to go all the way back anymore. The only thing we need to do is, like, be here now. Now, what we can actually do is we can go all the way down and, kill that. How many food rations do I have left? 36, so that's not enough. Now, fun fact, when I first played this game the very first time, I was pretty young, and I actually thought that food rations were only dropped from that one specific, from these lizard things, right? From these dragons. So the first time I played this game, I farmed that dragon on the bridge there. Like, I farmed that thing at least 100,000 times. For no purpose other than to get food rations, because I did not realize that this lady sells them. Now, we're just gonna buy the maximum amount of food rations, and we're just gonna keep going for the next part of the quest. The next thing is going to be that we're gonna help Vanina over here. So Vanina, she's kind of in a rut because she lost her money, I believe. Yeah, she lost her money when she came to the mountains with her boyfriend. So she kind of wants our help to find back her money. Now, her money is in this place over here, and helping her find it is, well, completely fine. I mean, I suppose. There's not that much specials about it. Now, you can head up here. You can go ahead, get that magic potion, go back in, and that's all that there is for this section down here. And now, if we head to the right, we are going to be able to finish, like, everything there's to do here pretty quickly. So that boulder above our head is going to fall on top of our head, which you kind of could have seen coming, given the fact that there was a boulder above our head. And now, if we go here... fun fact, if you do this, like, you just get a straight game over. So, it's angry, and you just have to go here and then head up, and that's going to quickly kill the orc. So that's that. And at that point, you can just continue here. Now, the top path is a path that we have to take, so to speak, because the top path is going to be the path that's going to give us the, you know, the quest stuff. But if you're not too interested in the quest stuff yet, like from the bridge, you can just head down first. That is going to lead us into some Unforgiven Bones. Circle around to the right, I believe. Go all the way down, and you'll find this guy, an Ice Draken. The Ice Draken, I'm not sure whether he does anything special beyond just giving you a little bit more XP than the other enemies in this place. But I suppose it's nice enough to know that he's there, right? It's a little reward on its own. And you get 1 life potion out of the deal. And a life potion is actually pretty big at this point, because the life potion does mean that if something goes south with the boss fight here, you do have that life potion to back you up. Now, the next section is actually going to lead you to where you need to be, and then you have to go down there anyways. So there's no real reason to do that first. We're gonna head up here, and yeah, we're just going to, I mean, I guess we'll save, because sometimes this dragon can be a bit annoying, but it's fine. We're gonna fight the dragon. We're gonna just use X-Blade. We're gonna use Emerald Laser. We're gonna have Cocka-Cocka attack, and we're gonna defend. And in general, that should be all she wrote. Sarah can technically buff Cocka-Cocka as well. That's like the only time that it really gets annoying, when Cocka-Cocka misses, and then you do have to figure it out. Now, as a little side challenge, I like making sure that Vanina is alive. And we'll give her half of our gold. Does that do anything whatsoever? No. I don't think it does. I generally don't know, actually. There might be a switch that gets flipped here. And then in Laxius Force 3, when she joins you again, she might be more successful. I don't know. It's like, I don't put it next to Indy to do something like that, where Vanina even only joins you if you gave her half your gold. That's actually completely possible. That is what you're looking at. That's the requirement. Like, she only joins you if you gave her half your gold. I don't know. But that is why I gave her half my gold. You just never know. We're gonna open this, and that's actually going to give us the Elven Crown. And the Elven Crown is one of the single most important items you can find in all of Laxius Force. And that is not a joke. That is not a joke. Because without the Elven Crown, you are going to suffer. A lot. Anyways, kill this, kill this. We're going to go all the way back to the bottom. We're going to use this waterfall to get down. And then over here, we find the Lullaby Ring. I'm not sure what the Lullaby Ring even does. She can equip it. Random can't equip it. She can. Inflicts Lullaby Transparency. So, whatever that means. Anyways, we're going to go back to Valos, and there we go. So, yeah, Rebecca is very not happy with us for having given us her back to her father. It's also a very mean thing to do, so please don't do that, ever. But we're going for completionism here. Alright, so now, we're going to leave it off here for now. Why? Well, because there's a lot of stuff to do still in Chapter 1 in Laxius Force 1. And there's way too much to do it right now. So this is going to be the end of the first episode of the Completionist run. There are a lot of things that we haven't done, and I'll just summarize them briefly so you have an idea of just how much we haven't done. We have not cleared Aldorlea yet. We have not cleared Khomre yet. There's still a couple quests there to be done. We've not even met Maryllis yet. We have not done the Path of the Dreaded. We have not done the Cannibal Village. So there is a lot of stuff left to do. So hopefully we'll do that in the next episode. Cheers.